Hello everyone, Helen here, and welcome to my 100th podcast. So, 100, it just seems amazing to me. I don't know how I've managed that really. But a big thank you to anybody who's watching, whether you're just quite new or whether you've been with me from right at the start or pretty near the start. I know I've had lots and lots of encouragement along the way, and somehow I've just kept going. I do not know how that's happened, and hopefully I can keep going for, I don't know how long for. No plan in mind at all. But thank you so much. I've had such a lot of fun, not only making all of my videos and chatting to you about all sorts of things, and basically I've just shared anything that's come to mind. Anything, obviously there's lots of things that I've made and lots of new things that I've tried over those many episodes, and all sorts of other topics that I've sort of chatted on about, and you've patiently listened to me, and sometimes you've even said that it was helpful or it's inspired you to do something. So that's really great. That's why I'm doing it, just as I always have, just the thought in mind that even if one person gets something positive from watching my podcasts, then that'll make me happy. So big thank you to everybody. And I've got a couple of special announcements today, but a bit later on. I'll leave them to a bit later, because as you see, I'm in the camper van, and that's because I've just got one or two more camper van related things to chat about after the last 3 episodes of taking you around some of the southern Hebridean islands, and just a few related things. And one of them is just really thanking you for comments. If you've made a comment on those 3 little travel videos, which took me absolutely hours to make. On average, when I sit down to do editing to make a normal podcast, it usually takes me probably roughly 4 hours, and those videos of us travelling around all those Scottish islands probably took me double that. I think the actual editing time was 7 or 8 hours, possibly more. I didn't actually time myself, but so quite time consuming. But I'm really glad that lots of you enjoyed them so much. So that was great. And I want you, if you ask some things, and one of the questions that I was asked a couple of times was, is it actually comfortable and comfortable to sleep in, and not feeling too cramped? And I think, well, yes, it is comfortable, and the bed, this seat that folds out into a bed, which I think I kind of half showed you in a previous podcast at some point, is comfortable. It's the kind of seat where the way it folds out means that you're sleeping on the back of the seat, so you haven't got the lumpiness of the shaped seats that you sit on when it's a seat, if you see what I mean. So the other side is flat, and it's padded, but it's not very padded, and so it isn't quite comfortable enough for me, I would say. I'm a fairly restless sleeper at the best of times, but I could just do with a bit more padding. Phil is completely happy. He can sleep anywhere. He's one of those people who puts his head on the pillow and then he just sleeps all night. Very, very rare that he will wake up. So he doesn't have any problem with the comfort of it. I definitely needed a bit of extra padding, and I didn't really have anything that I could use while we were away other than this blanket here. So I was using this blanket folded up into 4 and sleeping on that. But of course, every time you turn over, it all kind of rucks up, and so it's not the best thing. So I need a solution for that. I'm thinking about creating a kind of a cushion that's that fits exactly on top of the seat here, and then I'll give it a cover, and then I can use that at night time, because I don't actually need a full length one. It's just really my hips that will ache in the morning because it's just a bit too firm for me to sleep on. But other than that, it definitely feels cozy but not cramped. Because most of the time, obviously, apart from when we're asleep, the seat is here, and over there we usually have the passenger seat turned around, so we're not right on top of each other, and so that's it's really not a problem at all. I think it would be cramped if we were trying to have 4 people on holiday in here, but we haven't, so that's okay. So so I've got all of those videos as happy memories that I can look back on. But of course, if you know me at all, you'll know that I do love a notebook. So I haven't just got one place where I've written down the memories. I've actually got 3. And the first one is a notebook. I decided to have a notebook that was specially for taking away, but just for jotting things down in, kind of a rough notebook that I would take away in the camper van, because before that I was just jotting down ideas or things to remember or what have you in various notebooks, and I just wanted a notebook that was just for the camper van. So hopefully you can see here that I've just got, I've got all sorts of things. I've kept a record of food that we've eaten and places that we stayed overnight, and just things I can refer back to, and they're all just in that one notebook. So I think that was and that was really helpful when we came back, and when I wanted to write in the lovely camper van logbook that my mum bought for me. And hopefully you can see inside now that you can just record all of the trips that you go on. There's just all the pages to fill in are the same, and you can just fill in the space however you want. And so I'm enjoying having that. That's going to be great to look back on. And so I'm really, really pleased with that. In the logbook, I'm not kind of sticking in any souvenirs or anything or any pictures. But in my bullet journal, I like to cut things out from any leaflets I've picked up, and just really, I suppose, put a bit more detail in and put all the highlights in. And as you can see here, I've put the map in, and all the places that we stayed and things. So if you're not into notebooks, you'll think it's a bit ridiculous. Why have I got so many? But for me, it works, so that's what counts. So another of the things that's really nice when you're back home from your holidays, to have some things that you've bought while you're away, just to remind you of those really happy times that you had while you were away. And I think I did show you what I bought in the red phone box shop, which was this lovely tea towel and a card made by the same person who did the print for the tea towel. So the tea towel now lives in here because it's for the camper van. Haven't used the card yet, as you see. But I also went to a couple of shops, and I did promise that I would show you what I bought in the shops. So the first shop that I went in, I was called the Blue Letterbox. It was in Port Ellen. One of the things I bought was this book called My Isla, which is the island that we were on at the time. And I actually started reading this when we were in the Isla Hotel, and I just got into it straight away. It's really interesting. It's written by a lady who's a Korean and who came to visit Isla as a young lady. She's an artist as well. So the book is filled with her little sketches and watercolour paintings, and just it's kind of a Korean's view of island life. It's really fascinating. It's very, very nicely written, so I'm going to enjoy finishing reading that one. And I also bought just a pack of cards which had been made on Isla, and the pictures are photos of needle felted pictures, I suppose they are, aren't they? And there's 4 different pictures in there, so that's I look forward to using those. And then I also bought, I couldn't resist well, I can never resist a stone. Painted stones. And I mean, I have painted stones myself before, but this one was really beautiful. It just leapt out at me, and I had to bring it home with me. I think it's really beautiful. Yeah, so that was that. The other shop that I went into and brought things away was the wool and craft shop on the Isle of Arran, in a place called Whiting Bay. And of course, I mean, I just couldn't pass by a wool shop, could I? And I didn't go mad though. I didn't go mad, and I only bought 2 balls of yarn, which you can hopefully see here. And the yarn comes, or the wool came from very, very local sheep to the shop, just a stone's throw from the shop. So I really like that when I've got some yarn that's just very, very local to the place that I was in. This yarn is I think it's going to be interesting to knit with. I hope it's not going to be difficult. It's been spun in a way that's got little lumps in it, which I think are called neps. I don't know, I might be wrong. But it does feel lovely and soft. Quite often when I've been on other islands that have made their own yarn, sometimes it does tend to be fairly rustic and rough. But this one is really quite soft and nice. So I think I'm going to make some wrist warmers or fingerless gloves with it, but I'll let you know. And then the final thing that I bought, again, if you know me at all, if you've watched lots of my podcasts, you will know straight away why I decided to buy this little ornament. Yeah, I couldn't leave it there. It was just there waiting for me. This little clay leaf with a little leaf, or a little elf or somebody on it. It's just gorgeous. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, so while I was away, I just did a little video of all the crafts that I'd taken away with me. Like I did the previous trip, I showed you what was in my craft bag. So I thought I'd do that again. So I'm going to put in here little video now that I did while I was away. Okay, well, I thought you might like to see which craft projects I brought with me this time for this 12-night trip. And I've used the same bag that I brought the last time. And I've actually brought the same number of projects, which was 3. But last time when we were away for 5 nights, I only did 2 of the projects, and I thought that I definitely didn't need more than 3 for a 12-night trip. And I have actually worked on all 3, so there have been nice projects to bring away with me. And as with last time, I have brought the sock project, and I started a new pair of socks using my absolute favourite sock yarn, which is the Knit Picks Felici. I don't know how you pronounce it really, but and gorgeous colours. And actually I realised once we were away that just by sheer coincidence really, that all of the yarns that I brought with me were either the colours of the sea or just the colours of the hills with the heather. So that was really nice. So yeah, so I'm doing this sock, and for once I am not doing a plain vanilla sock. I'm doing a pattern that I have done once before. They're called the Simple Skip socks, and I think I paid for the pattern, but I'll put the details either on the screen now or down below in the description box. So I've got part way through a sock anyway, 1 sock, and so I'm very pleased with those. So that was good. So not so easy. Well, it is a pretty easy pattern, but obviously when I'm following somebody else's pattern, I need to concentrate a bit more. So it's not as good as a vanilla sock for when you're travelling along, but it's fine anyway. I've been enjoying the colours of the yarn being beautiful. And then I have my second project. This is a crochet one, and I've started a new blanket. And again, I've chosen some yarn. I've had this in my stash for absolutely ages. It's called Wendy Botanics Chunky. It's just acrylic, but very, very soft and lots of different shades of blue. All the colour of the sea, all colours of the sea. It's really lovely. And for the first time ever, I am making a corner to corner blanket. And this is my progress so far. Can you see? I've done that much. And that so far is nearly 2 balls of 100 gram. So, and I've got 6 balls in my stash. So I don't know if that's going to be a big enough blanket, because I want it to be a reasonable sized blanket. So we'll see. I'll see what size I am when I get to 3, and then I'll see if I've either got another yarn that will go with it, or I might have to buy a couple of balls of the Wendy if it's still available. I think I've had it for absolutely ages. So I'm using a 5.5mm hook for that. That is such a simple pattern, and it was a free pattern. Can't remember the designer, but I got it from Ravelry, and yeah, that's I'll put the details on the screen or in the description box in case you're interested in that pattern. And then my third project that I've brought is the jumper that I'm busy knitting, the Fenella sweater. And I've worked on this least since we've been away, because I do need to keep track of which row I'm on of the pattern. It's a 4-row pattern. And anyway, but I started this right at the start of the holiday, so I haven't done too badly. And this is going to be the front of the sweater. So I've already done the back and the sleeves. So this is the front. So yeah, I've got a bit of a way to go, but that's okay. And I just adore these colours in the yarn. And again, this is the one that's sort of reflected in the hills around us that we've been seeing. It's got little specks of kind of purpley colour and yellow that remind me of the flowers that we've seen while we've been away. So yeah, so a little bit of progress on that one as well. And so those are my 3 projects. I've decided that I really need to make Pearl here a jumper. She really needs some clothes for cooler weather, don't you? Yeah, she was feeling a bit chilly at times, and her poncho that she had, I've decided not to make her wear that anymore because it's such a squeeze to get over her head, and it's also causing her neck to go a little bit wobbly. So I'm going to design a jumper for her. I actually think I might use the pattern that I'm making the socks in, not the sock, but that sort of little cable pattern for that. So that's my plan, another plan. Okay then. you enjoyed just that last little sequence of video that I took while on holiday. There was quite a few little bits and bobs that I hadn't used, although if you're very observant and you saw the other videos of our trip, you will probably spot one or two things that I had used before. But yeah, and as for my projects that I took away with me, I'll update you on how I'm getting on with those very soon. But I'm just going to finish off today by giving you a couple of special announcements. The first one is that to celebrate this being my 100th podcast, I'm going to do a giveaway, my very first giveaway. Not sure really quite how it works, apart from I've seen other people do it. So I'm sure if they can do it, I can work it out too. So what I'm going to say is that if you would like to enter the giveaway, and the prizes will be just some of the little things that I've made, I'll send them to anywhere in the world. And all you need to do is put in the comments the word giveaway. So if you don't usually make a comment but you'd like to enter, then you don't even need to write a full sentence. Just put the word giveaway. Of course, it'd be nice if you say a bit more, but that's fine. And then I think, use some YouTube mechanism where it picks out all the comments with the word giveaway in it and then randomly picks a name or two out of the hat. Yeah, so yeah, I hope that works. And the deadline will be I'm going to make the deadline the 24th of October 2022. I better say the year in case you're watching this in some far distant future. Yeah, and yeah, so after that date I'll do the thing with the names, and I will let you know in the next podcast after the 24th of October who the lucky winners are. And the other little announcement I was going to make is that a few podcasts ago I showed you how I made one of my photo calendars. It was one with sheep in it, so all the things in it I'd crocheted or knitted, and then I made little settings for each month. If you didn't see it and you'd like to watch that particular podcast, I'll put a link to it at the end of today's video. And yeah, a few of you said that you'd love to buy one if they were up for sale. So I've been working hard to try and find out the best way for me to be able to sell them, because at the moment I don't really want to set up an actual shop like an Etsy shop or something. And obviously I need to find a secure way of selling things and for you to be able to pay. So I have managed to find a way. I'm a bit nervous about it all, but I hope it works. I've set up a thing called a coffee account, which I had come across other YouTubers using as a means of allowing viewers to make a little donation just to say thank you for all the time they put into the videos that they make. But I found that had, a very good friend of mine told me that you could also sell things via that account. So that is what I'm planning to do. So if you would like a calendar, it's going to be on a pre-order basis. And again, the deadline will be the 24th of October. I want enough time to be able to then order the number of copies that have been paid for and then get them to you before the end of the year. So I am a bit worried about there being postal strikes and about people having to pay a customs tax if it arrives to you in another country. But if you're willing to, run the risk of these things happening, I will do my very best to get a calendar to you if you'd like to buy one. So just take a look in the description box and you'll find a link to my account. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that it all works out okay. But I think I'm going to stop rambling on for today, and I just want to wish you a nice busy time and look after yourself, and I will see you again very soon. Okay then, bye.